Sounds good. All right, ready to rock?
Ready to roll.
Thank you. Okay, so today we're going to try a new strategy called a cooperative strip paragraph. It's called that because we're going to work together, cooperation, to create a story about penguins. We've been learning about penguin chicks this week in our Journeys lessons. And so we're going to work together to create a story all about penguins. This is going to be an informative story or informational story because we're using real facts that we've learned about penguins. So I have this here to get us started. I've created a topic sentence for us. This is the main idea of our story. So I have a penguin goes through many changes in its lifetime. Why don't we read that together? A penguin goes through many changes in its lifetime. Great, so this is our topic sentence for our whole paragraph. Before we get started on the part that you get to contribute, why don't we think for a second about what words in our topic sentence are really strong? What words make our topic sentence really strong? We don't want to get rid of them. We want to make sure we keep them in our writing as we go through and work together. Manveer. Lifetime? Okay. And why do you think that that's a strong word? Or could someone else help share why they think it's a strong word? Eli?
Because it's through its life.
Right, so not just one day or at a certain point, but it's saying all throughout the lifetime. Is that kind of what you were getting at too? Great. Any other words that are strong? Abby?
Penguin, because that's what we're learning about.
Okay, penguin. Yeah, we're talking about penguins, so we definitely want to keep penguins here as the main topic. Oh, it's getting a little fuzzy. All right, anything else? Eden. Changes. I agree with you. Why did you choose changes?
Because it goes with like penguin changes lifetime.
You feel like those three words are really strong.
Penguin lifetime changes.
Oh, it kind of makes its own sentence.
Like the sentence that starts with A that we've already written.
Gotcha.
A penguin changes its lifetime.
Gotcha. All right, we'll pause there. If we come up with some more later, we can totally add them. But let's read it one more time together. A penguin goes through many changes in its lifetime. So again, this is our topic for our whole paragraph. It's the main idea. Now here's your job. You're going to go back to your seats, work together as a team to create an additional sentence that you can add to our paragraph. But your sentence has to be a detail that goes with this main idea. Something, a fact, that'll help promote or help share this main idea. So the main idea is that a penguin goes through many changes in its lifetime. Your sentence needs to support that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Who can tell me what we're doing when we go back to our seats? Natalie?
We're writing something that supports the sentence.
Great. So when you go back to your seats, I want you to heads together, talk with your team, come up with a sentence that supports this main idea. When you're ready, you feel like you have a strong sentence in mind, call me over. I'm going to come over. We're going to talk about your sentence. If I give you the go-ahead, I'll get you a sentence strip and the marker that goes with your team color. You're going to write your sentence down, and when you're done, come back and we'll stick it up here in our paragraph. Once everyone finished, we'll come back and share our paragraph together. Sound like a plan?
Plan stand.
Awesome. All right, go ahead and go back to your teams. Get started. Getting started, coming up with something? All right. Okay.
Different kind of penguins that live in different kind of places.
Okay, yeah. Some of the books we've been reading about do show that there are different kinds of penguins. Our main story is all about emperor penguins, but we're trying to talk about how a penguin, any penguin, goes through different changes. How does your sentence talk about those changes? So maybe you can work together to find a page and come up with something that kind of promotes that idea that a penguin goes through changes. How we doing? Coming up with something?
Yeah, we came up with a sentence that penguins change colors throughout their lifetime.
Yeah. Penguin's fur changes colors throughout its lifetime?
Yeah.
Okay. And you found that in the story?
No.
Yes, you did.
They're brown as when they're young, and then like they're black and white.
Right, like these little guys here versus the big penguin. Okay. All right. I like it. So, working together, you're going to get your sentence down here on this strip. If you need more strip, let me know. I'll come around.
Ready.
You're ready? You got something. All right. What do we have?
So we're gonna say a penguin. So the changes through a penguin's lifetime. So it starts as an egg, then it goes to a chick, then it goes to a junior penguin, and then it goes to a penguin. Then over and over again.
Okay. So, figure out how you want it. You're going to talk about how it goes from A to junior penguin to adult penguin.
Yeah.
So figure out how you're going to write that down in a sentence and get that written down on here. Okay? And here's your blue pen. So work together. Maybe you can share the work. How are we doing? Are we coming up with something?
No.
I'm feeling like I'm hearing lots of banging.
We're trying to think.
Okay, so again, our job right now, we're working together to figure out what kind of changes a penguin goes through in its lifetime. So a change means, what does a change mean?
Like something's changing. Yeah, something's changing.
Something's changing, it's different from how it used to be.
Wait.
So in our story, what's something you saw or learned about that made a penguin different as it grew up? What do you remember, Jameson?
Changing its fur.
Okay,
And
there's actually a team that's already talking about the fur to feather change, but do you have any other ideas?
Bigger.
Okay,
It gets bigger and bigger.
so go on that idea and share. Come up with something you can write together that you can make into a sentence. You're ready? All right. What do we have?
Penguins have to stay warm or they will die. The penguins have to stay warm or they will die.
So what changes about a penguin that helps them be warm?
Their fur.
Okay, what happens to the fur to make it warm?
It sheds. Its color. It's poofy and fluffy. It has a lot of its color.
Okay. We have a team that's already talking specifically about the fur. So why don't you put your heads back together and see if you can come up with something else that changes about a penguin. Maybe think about either the earlier part of its life or the later part of its life. We don't really have anything going for that yet.
This is
Choose one maybe.
We need more strip.
Oh, you need more strip. All right. All right. Getting it down? Are you needing more strip? Okay. I'll give you that.
We have ours.
Oh, awesome. All right, what'd you come up with?
The penguin grows and finds another mate to have a chick with.
All right, I love it. Here you go. If you need more, let me know.
Audrey
does it 'cause
she's a team captain.
And we'll get you some more strip.
What's that team? So
You can also try to find a way to share the load, right? So that everyone feels included. Bring your sentence up.
penguins choice
Thank you.
change colors.
Come on up. Oh, I need it. Bring it up here and then have a seat. Thank you. All right. So here we go. We've got our paragraph put together. We're going to follow this checklist this week as we continue to work on our writing. So up at the top of the checklist, you'll see it says, I read my work out loud. So that's our first job right now. And then it says, I highlighted what makes my writing strong. So we're going to follow that same process we did with our first topic sentence, and we're going to do that with the rest. Again, we're not making changes, we're not making edits. Right now we're just reading and highlighting what makes our writing strong. Sound like a plan? All right, here we go, all together. A penguin goes through many changes in its lifetime. A penguin changes from egg to chick to junior penguin to penguin. Penguins change colors throughout their lifetime. The penguin grows and finds another mate and has another chick. It hatched, brood hatch. Alright, so there's our writing. Great reading, friend. So now, our job, we're going to highlight what makes it strong. So let's pick out. Think to yourself for a moment, what words stood out to you? What words makes the writing sound super strong? Don't want to lose them. We don't want to get rid of them. Okay? What words might stand out? Carter?
Egg.
Egg. We need the word egg. It relates to the penguin. Okay, we have lots of the word egg, but maybe we'll just highlight one of them. Okay? Presley.
Mate, because
Mate.
it's like a roommate or someone that you have with you.
Somebody you're sharing with, so that's kind of an important term in the penguin world, right?
Yeah.
Their partner, their mate. All right, Abby.
Penguins.
We have penguin highlighted up here already, so we'll be sure to use the word penguin throughout. We'll just keep that one highlighted. Natalie?
Chick, junior penguin, and penguin.
All right, we'll highlight chick here. And junior, well again we have penguin ready to go. And Soraya, what else?
Another.
Another. Okay, that makes it sound strong to you. Okay. We'll highlight another. The big, good sight word that we use in our writing. Okay. Any else? Yeah.
Brood patch.
Brood patch. Good. That's a specific term to penguins, right? So that definitely will help our writing be strong. All right. So we've got our words highlighted. Let's do one more time before we wrap up for today. Oh, Vander.
Hatch.
Hatch. Okay, hatch is a good term to go with penguin. I like it. Very strong. We've got lots of good, strong words for our writing. Highlighted, ready to go. Let's read one more time before we wrap up for today. Oops, drop my little... Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to call this. Pointer? There we go. All right. Together. A penguin goes through many changes in its lifetime. A penguin changes from egg to chick to junior penguin to penguin. Penguins change colors throughout their lifetime. The penguin grows and finds another mate and has another chick. It hatches, brood hatch. Nice. I'm very excited about this, and we're going to continue working on it throughout this week, but we're going to close it out for today. So keep in mind, our next steps going forward are how can we add or change things to make the writing even stronger. So you can keep that in the back of your mind. Great job. Give yourself a pat on the back. Nice. All right. I need everyone to return back to their desks and get out their science workbook. Let's get started. So today, our focus with our cooperative strip paragraph is all on revision. Okay, and remember, revision is about adding or taking away from our writing to make it stronger, to make it sound better. So we're going to work through our checklist today together. But let's remember, yesterday when we finished, we had started, we read our work aloud, and we highlighted what makes our writing strong. So next on our revision and editing list, next on our checklist is all sentences make sense. So that's what we're going to work on now. But before we do that, why don't we read our story together to make sure that we're all caught up to speed. So here we go.
A
A penguin goes through many changes in its lifetime. A penguin changes from egg to chick to junior penguin to penguin. Penguins change colors throughout their lifetime. The penguin grows and finds another mate and has another chick. It hatch, brood, hatch. Nice reading, great job. Okay, so I'll wait. So, our first item on the checklist, all sentences make sense. So as we read through that, is there anything that doesn't quite make sense to you where we need to add or take away to make it make more sense? Eli.
It hatch, brood patch.
Okay, what do you feel like we need to change there?
It has a brood patch.
Okay, so they do have a brood patch, but I think, if I'm correct, I think that the Lutes were talking about how the chick hatches in the father's brood patch. Okay, so what can we do to change that sentence? Yeah.
It hatches in the brood patch.
Okay, so we need to add a word in the. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Okay. Lutes, are you okay with us making that change? All right, let's do it then. So I'm going to take this sentence here.
Good.
I'm going to cut in between it and hatch. We'll stick it here. And then we need to add it. Oh, here we go. It, hatch. And we have to add in the. All right. So now, let's read our whole paragraph again. A penguin goes through many changes in its lifetime. A penguin changes from egg to chick to junior penguin to penguin. Penguins change colors throughout their lifetime. The penguin grows and finds another mate and has another chick. It hatched in the brood patch. Nice change there. Does that change we made help it sound a little bit better? A little stronger? What else? Anything? Harder.
I think instead of hatch, it might be hatches.
Hatches. Okay. Yeah, does that sound like a good change, Luke?
Yeah.
Okay. Luke, you're okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, we're going to take out this hatch, and I'm going to change it to hatches. And I'm going to need to highlight this because previously we had the word hatch highlighted, as in we didn't want to get rid of it. But we just changed from hatch to hatches. So I'm going to highlight this so we remember that we want to keep this in our writing. So it hatches in the brood patch. All right, one more time. A penguin goes through many changes in its lifetime. A penguin changes from egg to chick to junior penguin to penguin. Penguins change colors throughout their lifetime. The penguin grows and finds another mate and has another chick. It hatches in the brood patch. All right. When we last left off yesterday, we were working on revising our work. Again, revision is all about making our writing stronger. So we need to add or take away things to help us read our writing and have it to be stronger and sound better and sound more interesting. So we worked on that yesterday. But one thing that I forgot to mention that we should work on, and this was with the first bullet, which is all sentences make sense. We need to make sure each sentence itself makes sense, but we also need to make sure that the order of the sentences makes sense. So we're going to read our paragraph one more time, and then I want you to think about if we should rotate any of the sentences. If any of the sentences should go before or after the others so that it's in an order that makes more sense. All right? So we're going to finish with that, and then once we do that, we'll get moved on to editing. Sound like a plan? All right, so here we go all together. A penguin goes through many changes in its lifetime. A penguin changes from egg to chick to junior penguin to penguin. Penguins change their down and feather colors throughout their lifetime. The penguin grows and finds another mate and has another chick. It hatches in the brood patch, going from egg to chick. I'm just amazed. It sounds so good. All right, one more time. Let's read it all together. A all together. A penguin goes through many changes in its lifetime. You don't need to yell. Let's try that again. A penguin goes through many changes in its lifetime. A penguin changes from egg to chick to junior penguin to penguin. It hatches in the brood patch, going from egg to chick. Penguins change their down and feather colors throughout their lifetime. The penguin grows, finds a mate, and has a chick. What do you think? Thumbs up if you like it. Awesome. So, would you agree that we're done with revision and we're ready to move on to editing?
Yeah.
All right, so we've checked off. All of our sentences make sense. I'll wait.
She'll wait.
We have all of our sentences are about the main idea. They're interesting, and we added a few facts and vocabulary as we went. So let's move on to editing. Editing now is about making sure we have our capitals and our spelling and our periods and things like that. So the first one says the sentences begin with a capital letter. Let's take a look. Take a few seconds. Look at each sentence. Do they begin with a capital letter? Do our sentences begin with a capital letter?
Oh, I got one.
All right. Ooh, lots of hands up. Let's go for Aaliyah.
When it says it hatches in the brood patch going from egg to chick, it needs to be capitalized because it's the first sentence.
It's the first word in a sentence. So it, at the beginning of that sentence, needs to be capitalized. So I will write it capital, and we'll replace that out. Lutz, are we agreeing that that needs to be done? All right, I see some heads shaking yes. So we'll switch that out for a capital it. All right. Any other capital issues happening in our paragraph?
No. I mean, wait. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Period.
So that's periods don't have to do with capitals. We'll come to that in a moment.
Period.
Good thinking though, but we're not quite there yet.
I messed up. Yeah. Wait.
So, yeah. Did you have something, EJ?
Can I get a little drink of water?
We're almost done, so not right now. Okay, so I think we're in agreement that the remainder of the sentences have a capital. However, some of our sentences have capitals randomly in the word, in the middle of a sentence. Do you see any of that? Where capitals are where they're not supposed to be? Yes.
Okay, so right here,
On change
here,
and colors.
and also.
Wait, that's C?
Oh, I see.
I see.
Hmm.
Well, why don't we come back to it, Aiden? Maybe sit down and think if you see any others. Let's start with the ones Aiden saw. Panthers. Aiden saw right here we have a capital C. Was that a capital C?
It was because like we made a mistake, so we just had to make it big to cover up.
So that wasn't necessarily supposed to be capital? Okay. And what about colors? No? Okay. So they look kind of like capitals, but that was an accident. They weren't meant to look like that. All right. Any others? Eli?
Penguin and penguin.
Penguin, penguin, and penguin.
Oh no.
All right. So,
No, don't. Oh.
all right. So on penguin, penguin and penguin, I'm just going to put a curly Q slash through so that we remember that we need to make that lowercase. Okay. To make those lowercase p's in penguin. All right. All right. So we feeling good about capitals?
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's check that off of our checklist here.
Hey, Nathan.
Who can tell me what's next on our checklist for but actually there's something that I want to point out about that word and the spelling. So there are 3 types of there. One type of there is T-H-E-R-E, which is what's listed there. Another type is T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E. And then the last one is T-H-E-I-R. Okay? These are 3 different types of there. They're a homophone, meaning they sound the same even though they're spelled and mean different things. So this type of there, T-H-E-R-E, has to do with where something is. Okay? This type of there, T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E, is a contraction for they are. And this type of there is when something belongs to someone. So let's read that sentence and see if that's the correct type of there. Starting on the red sentence. Penguins change their down and feather colors throughout their lifetime. Eli?
I think it's belongs.
It's the there that means belonging, right? But that one's showing the there that says where. So does that make sense, Panthers? Is it all right if we switch out that spelling?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to cut this out here. And we'll switch it for T-H-E-I-R. And we're going to stick that back into our paragraph. So we've got the correct spelling of there now. Anything else before we move on? I'm seeing a lot of shaking heads. All right, so we're feeling pretty good about that. I think we're looking good now. No one else has anything to add, then we'll move on. All right, so let's check on our checklist over here. The words are spelled correctly. We can check that off since we just did our focus on spelling. We have 2 more things to do. First one is we need to come up with a title for our writing. So, knowing that the main idea is a penguin goes through many changes in its lifetime, what would be a strong title that covers over what we wrote about? Let's share some ideas and then we'll see what we like best. Aaliyah?
A penguin's life.
A penguin's life. All right. Carter?
Facts about penguins.
Facts about penguins. Eli?
A penguin's lifetime.
A penguin's lifetime.
All about penguin.
All about penguins.
A penguin's changes in its lifetime.
A penguin's changes in its lifetime. All right, so I'll wait till I have everyone's ears. Thank you. So I heard some like facts about penguins, all about penguins, but are we sharing anything about penguins? No, we're just focusing on what? The changes that it goes through, right? So I'm thinking that our title should probably include that, which would be what Natalie shared, which was
A penguin changes in its lifetime.
in its lifetime. All right. Is there a way we could shorten that so that it really is just, it punches directly to what we're trying to say? Aiden?
Penguins and changes.
Penguins and changes. Does that go over what we're writing about?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't make
Okay.
That doesn't make sense.
Why doesn't it make sense?
Because it's just penguin changes.
Okay, so tell him why you think that.
Because we're doing not just changes.
It's specifically a penguin's change.
Yeah.
So does that make sense, Aiden? He doesn't want it to seem like we're talking about penguins and then random changes, but we're talking about penguin changes.
Instead of penguins and changes, it should be penguins and their changes.
Does that sound better?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. We agree, thumbs up?
Yeah.
Does that sound like a proper title? So we'll add that here. And I'm going to put it up, and I want you to tell me what you notice. All right. What do you notice about the way that I wrote the title? Any thoughts on that? Abby?
Capitalize the T in there.
I did. What else? Carter?
You capitalize the
Yeah. I'll wait. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so a title should be capitalized, but there are a few words that we don't capitalize. It's kind of random. We'll learn as we go and practice, but "and" is one of those words that we won't capitalize in the middle of a title. Okay? So I have penguin there and change is capitalized. And our title is, I wrote penguin instead of penguins. Silly Miss Skipworth. Penguins and their changes. All right? Not just one penguin, right?
Many penguins.
It's many penguins. These are multiple penguins. All right. Let's see if that title sticks as we read through our paragraph. Here we go. Penguins and their changes. A penguin goes through many changes in its lifetime. A penguin changes from egg to chick to junior penguin to penguin. It hatches in the brood patch, going from egg to chick. Penguins change their down and feather colors throughout their lifetime. The penguin grows, finds a mate, and has a chick. Nice writing. Give me a thumbs up if you feel proud of that. I sure do. I feel really proud of you. So our last thing, we did a title. The last thing we need to do together on the checklist is, it says the author's name is on the paper.
Oh.
So, who wrote this story?
No.
Me? I didn't write all of this.
Everyone.
The whole class did. So we're going to do, at the bottom,
Mrs. and Mr. Class.
we're going to write at the bottom, by Mrs. Skipworth
Yeah. And Skipworth.
class. All right. So that goes for us down at the bottom because we wrote it. Make sense? All right.
Wait. It's missing something.
So,
A period.
no, this isn't a sentence. It doesn't need a period. Okay? Hand down. All right. So we are going to mark that off, and the last step is publishing. Some of this got cut off, but I'll hand out, I have a copy of this for each of you to look at your desks, one per team. Now what you're going to do is you're going to head, when I say, you're going to head back to your seat. I'll wait. Can you please join us? you're going to head back to your teams. You're going to get out your notebook to a clean page, and you're going to publish this story, meaning copy this story neatly, okay? You need your work should be written neatly. There should be no errors in your final piece. And then the last one that got cut off is my illustrations match my writing. So you're each going to draw a picture under the writing that goes with the story.
A penguin.
Okay? Questions about what I'm asking you to do? Abby.
What happens if we have papers in our binders that we want to use instead of our notebook?
Actually, you know what? That's a good idea. I think we should use a fresh, clean piece of paper. So I actually want you to use a piece of paper from your binder that you can turn into me. That way I can check everybody's work easily. Sound good? Sound like a plan?
Listen.
Awesome. All right, so head back to your seats, and I will come around and support you. If needed, you can get a clipboard and come sit up here so you can see better. I'm going to bring a checklist around to each table in case you need to look back over what you're required to do. 1 second, bud. Okay, get settled, friends. All right, that's looking good. Don't forget our title, okay? Wow, very neat. Good job. Remember, we're doing our very best work, our neatest work right now. If you finish, you can work on an illustration. That's a picture to go with our writing. If you need to, you can reread your writing to make sure you didn't make any mistakes with spelling or handwriting.